I'm sorry that I made this video, long again. I did not tend to do that. I hardly ever do. But I think I basically said all I needed to for now. But, as far as a globalist goes, if you really want to convince people to help you in your cause, you have, first off, you've got to learn to respect humanity more. And not just claim that you do, show that you do. The next time a woman comes to you saying, my baby needs to get to the hospital, move out of the daggone way. Secondly, stop being hypocrites. Don't demand us to give this and that up when you yourselves are guilty of still using those things yourself. Thirdly, stop acting like immature brats. I'm not saying this to be cruel, I'm just saying it's the truth. I know 5-year-olds that act more mature than a bunch of globalist people. I mean, honestly, throwing temper tantrums, gluing themselves to asphalt, throwing orange paint and stuff on paintings and food on. I mean, that's stuff that 2-year-old kids would do. That's things that 2-year-olds would do. And you're never going to convince a bunch of grown people to follow you if you act like a child. As I said before, years ago, my husband and the anniversary of my husband and I, we went to a state park. These 2 men, all they had to do was calmly explain to us what the petition was for. All they had to do was just calmly, peacefully explain to us what it was for, why they felt, why they was against, the roads being paved and stuff like that. And my husband and I signed the petition. All it had to take was being peaceful. As that person says in the article, you want to be approachable. You want people to want to listen to you. In order for that to happen, you have got to be a calm, cool person. You have got to be approachable. And you screaming and shouting out like kids is not the way to do it. You just say, oh, excuse me a second. Anyway. A while back, I don't know what the channel is called, but there's this guy, he will go to zoos and stuff, and he will explain the conditions of the animals there. Like, for example, he went to a SeaWorld, I think a couple of years ago, maybe, and what was going on is that they would have the orcas bend their dorsal fins, and first look at, before I saw his video, when I saw them do that with them during the performance, I thought it was cute. I thought, oh, what a cute little trick they're doing with the orcas. But when this particular person went to the SeaWorld and pointed out that was actually harmful for the orcas, and was actually hurting them, and gave all the details why, I changed my mind on that, and I said, no, that's not good for the orcas. It's actually abusive against them. And listen, he didn't go in there hooting and hollering, spreading orange paint. He didn't cause a scene. All he did was walked in there, calmly just explained whatever it is he had, say whatever it is he had to say in a peaceful manner. And that's all it took. All it took was that. He didn't have to cause a scene. He didn't have to, act like a brat or nothing like that. And a lot of people follow him. A lot of people listen to him. A lot of people follow him. He's doing it the right way. With the globalists, that's how they should do it. They should just do things peacefully. And instead of causing chaos and blocking traffic, they can peacefully protest on the sidewalk like everybody else. You don't have to risk yourselves and going in the road, and you also don't have to risk risking other people's lives by putting yourselves in the road. You don't have to do that. You don't have to you don't have to risk that. You don't have to stop children from going to school. You don't have to risk people losing their jobs. You don't have to do none of that. Just stay on the side of the road. You can have rallies, you can have get-togethers, just do it peacefully. And like I said, I feel bad for Piers Morgan because he's trying so hard to explain that to him, and it goes one ear out the other. And listen, as long as they keep going the way they are now, they're not going to convince anybody to listen to them. All they're doing is ticking people off. All they're doing is causing people to want to go away from their cause. And they need to wake up. They need to wake up to that fact. They're going to wake up to reality. Because the truth is, no matter what group you're in, you cannot force people to believe what you do. Because listen, as a Christian, one of the things that where a lot of Christian people have gone wrong is that they try to force our faith onto other people. And no, I'm not going to go by the leftist definition of just talking about Christ to people's forcing a religion. No. I'm talking about when people have gone very legalistic, or let's say, Christians talking to an atheist, and they've already had conversations about it, but the Christian keeps trying to pound, trying to keep shoving it down his throat, so to speak. Keep saying, he's, awful sinner, he's gonna go to hell. That he can't be saved and all this. The way we are supposed to talk to them is just simply say the gospel and, in a peaceful, calm manner, explain what we got to explain to them, don't hide nothing, tell them all the truth, including the parts of sin and condemnation in hell. But we just say it and then let them do what they want with it. If they choose to believe it, great. If they choose to come to Christ, fantastic. But if they choose that day not to, do not try to shove it down their throat. Just pray for them and hope that they'll see the truth someday. Just hope that, let the Holy Spirit, take over from there and let him do what he needs to do to help that person come to God. We are the messengers. We're not to be enforcers. And if you're a person in a different group, like if you're a globalist, or if you're a person that's a feminist, or if you're a person that's a Muslim, you cannot force your beliefs onto other people, no matter what group you're in. If you try to force your beliefs onto other people, it will not cause people to want to, come alongside with you. It's not going to want to cause them to believe what you believe. It's going to cause them to go in the exact opposite direction. And it does that every time. And the leftists, are a far great example of this. They constantly try to shove their beliefs onto the general public throat all the time. And what are we doing? We're running far away from them. We're going far away from them. We're not aligning with them. We're not listening to them. We're just going the exact opposite direction. Well, that's one reason. Another reason is because, they're holding very immoral values. Some of the people that are speaking against, the Sound of Freedom, one of them, ironically, that spoke against the Sound of Freedom, he says that an 8-year-old child can consent to sex with an adult. And as a person who was raped when I was 8 years old, I highly disagree. And the thing is, I was not harmed by an adult. It was by another minor. An 8-year-old child cannot consent. Because an 8-year-old child has no idea what it is, has no true understanding what it is, what it means, what it's about. Even if you explain it to them, an 8-year-old child still does not have the maturity or the know-how to fully understand it. So, no, an 8-year-old child cannot consent. But ironically, he's I can't remember his name right now, but he's one of those who's speaking against the sound of freedom, and yet that's his value. That's his beliefs. And he honestly thinks he can convince us that the sound of freedom is wrong when he holds those type of views. Yeah, right. I think I've said all I need to say here, and I know I say that all the time about all my videos, but I think I said all I need to say. So again, the globalists, stay out of the road, protest peacefully, stop acting like children, learn to value human life above the animals, and then also stop being hypocrites. Once you do that, then we'll be more willing to listen. But until then, don't expect anybody to listen. That's my Christian brothers and sisters. Hope your day is going well. May the Lord be with you. Shalom.